My name's Tim Dye and I'm Chief Executive of Aterenon. The specific cardiovascular benefits of taking Aterenon are principally that it is a bioavailable lycopene. That means it's a lycopene that gets into the bloodstream. A lycopene is known as being one of the most potent antioxidants there is. But for it to do good, it's got to get into the bloodstream. And what we've managed to show and develop with Aterenon, which is a bioavailable form of lycopene, is that it does really get into the bloodstream very well.
Bioavailability means absorption of compounds from the present in the food or other into our body. And it's important because if they don't get into our body, they're not going to be of any effect. So it's very important that we make the compounds of interest bioavailable, better absorbed into our body.
So we were interested in understanding what the longer term effects were of taking Aterenon daily, 7 milligrams per day. And so what we decided to do is do a randomized clinical trial in testing 213 men and women who were aged 50 years and older who had a history of coronary heart disease to see what the long-term effects of taking Aterenon daily for up to 12 months were on several different intermediate cardiovascular outcomes, including carotid ultrasounds, as well as coronary biomarkers and blood pressure.
The way lycopene plays a role in the prevention and management of cardiovascular disease is by preventing the early stages of cardiovascular disease, which is essentially where we get our cholesterol, low-density cholesterol oxidized, and therefore lycopene can prevent that oxidation and stop further progression of the disease.
So lactolycopene is a unique formulation that's been developed in the form of Aterenon. And the advantage of lactolycopene is that it really helps to enhance the absorption of lycopene through a supplement that you can otherwise not easily get through consuming lycopene in different foods that you'll get in the diet. And the nice part about lactolycopene is that we know that the bioavailability of lactolycopene when it's consumed as a supplement, you can readily absorb much of that into the blood to increase your levels of blood lycopene, and we believe that that will have some downstream effects in terms of reducing cardiovascular disease risk.
From our research, we have been focusing primarily at this time on the prevention of cardiovascular disease. However, now we are beginning to look at other studies where we will look at lycopene in the treatment as well.
Well, lycopene is an antioxidant, and antioxidants are believed to reduce disease processes in the blood vessels, including those supplying the brain, and therefore reduce the chances of having strokes or reducing the impact of those strokes. Well, Aterenon is a lycopene product which is attached to a lactate molecule, and it helps to ensure that when you take the capsule, then the lycopene is absorbed across the gut wall and ensures that high concentrations get into the bloodstream.
And we know that there have been many studies that have demonstrated that those individuals who have higher levels of blood levels of lycopene have lower risks of developing cardiovascular disease as well. And so what's interesting, I think, moving forward is understanding how a product such as Aterenon, which provides lycopene in a highly bioavailable form, how that will raise blood levels of lycopene in a way such that we can then understand how that might result in reductions of cardiovascular disease moving forward.